Welcome back, everyone, and with the new video means a new shirt. This is Stussy. I got this when I was in LA with two of my buddies. We went out for the launch, cooked in the heat, and I didn't want to go empty-handed, so I got a $50 shirt that I now kind of like. So now getting to the video. So vintage looks have been getting a lot more popular lately, especially with the new cameras like the S9 and the new Fuji cameras coming out. You know, a lot more people are using camcorders, digicams on a lot of the projects and commercial projects, and it seems to be making a comeback. So I'm mainly a video shooter, but seeing most of my friends are photographers, it kind of makes me want to dabble into it a lot more. And so that kind of brings me to getting my first vintage, I guess, film camera. It's pretty old, not too old. It's the Canonette, and I got this at a vintage shop for like 20 bucks with the flash, mint condition. It's great. I shot 2 rolls of film. I have yet to see how it goes. It's been very fun. It's been very different for me to kind of chill back a little bit with videos and to, take the time to try to nail in settings with a photo camera, film camera. And now with the interest of film photography, it's natural to intrigue my interest into the vintage looks for films, like videos. So approaching me at the right time was Dehancer. They reached out to me to test out one of their plugins for film emulations for DaVinci Resolve. I will say that they are probably one of the best out there for those who want to dial in the film looks instead of using overlays or creating your own. And just a disclaimer, they're not paying me for this. These are all my thoughts and opinions of my own. I'm fairly new to DaVinci at this moment in time, but I'm still learning a lot about the program. I got a decent handle at how it works, and I've created some pieces already on YouTube and social media. This is just to notify you that while I will show you what I did, people are a lot more proficient in DaVinci Resolve and probably being able to dial in these films like emulation settings a lot more than I am, so they can roast me. But with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Alright, so now we are in DaVinci Resolve, and this is the video that played in the beginning of the video. So just scrubbing through this, you can kind of just see just some of the looks that we kind of got off of these, but we're gonna go to the color tab. And so within the color tab, what I ended up doing was I created these 5 nodes, sometimes 6 depending on the clip, I believe. I'm just gonna spare the whole node process and kind of what I did in each node, but essentially this would be the before and then this would be the after. And so if I did this would take away the adjustments I did with Dehancer. I did Dehancer towards the end of the grading process. And then this is with it on again. I think one of the examples you can really see the differences in between it is probably this clip right here. Let's find a good section. So if you click right here, I didn't play too much with this one. I kind of just did 2 nodes on this because I thought it kind of looked decent on its own. But this is without it, and then this is with Dehancer, so we can play it without it, and then we can play it again with it on, and it kind of gives that film look. So diving into Dehancer, we'll go with my buddy Carlos here. So going into the actual Dehancer program within the nodes, so this one I kind of just did my adjustments and added it on. I know other videos kind of just said to choose your camera profiles and all that stuff. When I first initially played with it, I kind of just kept it at the Rec 709, so that's kind of just how it was at. I'll show another example kind of going into the actual source and changing it to your camera, but so going into it, first things first, you can obviously play with the exposures and the temperatures and the normal things with that. But here is kind of when we get into the film looks of things. The one that I really liked was the Kodak Gold. Currently that's kind of what I'm shooting on with my new film camera, so I tested it out. And realistically, it's probably one of my favorite looks out of this one. So if you were to go to, I don't know, Kodak, what does my buddy shoot on? Portra 400. Obviously, it would change it a little bit. And within these, let's go back to that. You can obviously enable it or de-enable it. One thing I really like is kind of the print. So here we have it on the linear, but you can pick the profiles in here and kind of just play around with it. And these will also give it kind of like the different looks as well. I'm kind of stuck to linear on this clip, but going into one of my favorite things out of this is kind of the grain. Grain is probably something that is, you have to play it right. People do overlays and stuff, but this one you can honestly adjust it, and also there's different types of grain. So what I have is 35mm, ISO 250, and I kind of just boosted it up to 32. You can give it less, you can give it more. It really depends on kind of what you guys like. One other thing that I thought was cool was the halation. A lot of people like halation and they'll, manually put it in themselves by creating like a thing in their editor. But Dehancer actually has a section for it in their plugin where you can, give different types of halation. And you can enable it, de-enable it. Obviously, you can kind of see it here. Another thing I really like was the bloom effect that they have. A lot of people are having bloom filters. I personally use one. I have it on right now, honestly. But with the bloom effect, there's different, obviously, types of profiles here too, right here. So if we were to add the bloom effect, you could see that it adds a little bit more, and we can even give it more than that. And with that, you can also get different profiles into it. But yes. And with the halation, one that I figured that works a lot is this one right here. And we can enable it, and we can also adjust the amount of halation that we want. So this is with, without, with. One thing I also thought that was pretty cool was the film damage. So if we were to apply it here, this is kind of what it would look like. It's very subtle, but it definitely shows up and it makes somewhat a little bit difference. I know some of these other stuff I haven't really played with too much. The film breathing, not too familiar with it, to be quite honest. But it is there for you to kind of play around with. So now let's get into one of my favorite clips that I shot. It is this one, the waves at Santa Monica Beach when I was in LA with my buddies. So here, if we were to look at what I did, this is the one where I actually did the profiles with the camera that I was using, which was the A7S III. So this one, I kept it back at Kodak Gold. I really like this one a lot. What else did I do? For the film grain, I didn't add too much. You can really see that it adds a little bit more if you were to like really zoom in here. It gives it some of that grain. You can add more, you can add less, but I liked it where that was. The halation, I kind of kept this one off, but I mean, if we wanted to, we could have added it in there. Adds a little bit of warmth, but yeah, there's that. With the bloom, I didn't really want to add too much bloom into this one, so I kind of kept it where it was, but it still looked pretty good. Also, film damage, I didn't do too much of this one as well. I thought the grain in itself was already enough for me, so I kind of kept that one off. But yeah, this was the one I did for this shot, and yeah. One thing I did really want to show you guys is the film compression. This one I found out while watching some YouTube videos actually about Dehancer before I actually jumped into it. So this one here, you kind of makes your skies and little backgrounds more compressed, and helps out a little bit if you'd like it. You can add less, add little, but it is there. I thought it was super cool. Just something to mention to you guys. I really like this one with a couple of the shots that I did, but yeah. So one thing that Dehancer also does have is a mobile version of their plugin, and it's like basically like Lightroom's version of their mobile app as well. A lot more user friendly, but it's a lot more intuitive, I think. So if you're jumping right into it, so I'm going to open my clip, and so here are a lot of the presets they kind of give you with film looks and all that. Here you can actually just adjust a lot of the same stuff that you kind of would in there. You got a lot of different film profiles in there as well. The same things that a lot of people can like change into, but one thing I thought that was kind of cool is that they do give an overscan thing, which is basically like an overlay for your photos and videos. Think of it as kind of just like the overlays that you would get for like film mats and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, so I mean the mobile app is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I definitely would try it out. It does cost money as well, but if it's something that you kind of want to do on the go, definitely would recommend it as well. So Dehancer is honestly a phenomenal program. Getting into more of the film vintage looks is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always used overlays, and sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. Really nailing down the film looks and having so much flexibility to achieve a certain look that you want, and all these different combinations of film looks, halations, blooms, and all that stuff that film looks give you, I think Dehancer truly nails down. DaVinci Resolve in itself is a very hefty program to learn, and just adding Dehancer to it just makes it that much stronger. I think this type of program is definitely one that a lot of people are going to enjoy if this is the style that they're looking for, and even just something that they kind of want to do every now and then. Definitely something that I'm going to continue to play with and put into a lot more of my videos and client work. But I would still say you guys should go and get your hands on it and just try it out. They do offer a trial period if you're interested, and if you do want to buy it, again, use my code. It'll help you save some money, helps me out too. But yeah, that's about that. I really recommend Dehancer. I think you guys should try it. Like and subscribe if you haven't. If you really like this video, just drop a like, helps out a lot. But I'll see you guys in the next one.